don't you worry, we're also going to be comparing it to the LG C8 from last year. So first off, if you haven't seen our unboxing and basic setup video for this TV, definitely check that out. You can click the little link right up here. We go through all the basics of setup. We take a look at how the stand is different and some of the user interface differences. Today, we're going to dig a little bit deeper. There's a lot different from last year's C8 OLED, and most of it is internal. So let's go through that real quick. Okay, so one of the biggest differences for this year, and this is big news for TVs in 2019 in general, LG has actually incorporated full spec HDMI 2.1. Now, you video nerds out there know what that means. For those of you who don't, there's really two big features that come along with this new HDMI spec. Don't worry, you don't need new cables, but you are going to need some new equipment to take advantage of most of it. The first thing that people are going to be excited with this new HDMI 2.1 is variable refresh rate. That brings this closer than ever to a computer monitor. So now we're looking at the possibility of this being a legit gaming monitor. When the new PS5 and the new Xbox come out, we expect them to support variable refresh rate. We do expect them to use HDMI 2.1, and that's going to allow all kinds of interactivity between the console and the TV. Most importantly, though, you get that variable refresh rate, so everything always looks smooth. The other part of HDMI 2.1 is eARC. Now, if you're familiar with ARC or audio return channel, that means you can connect, say, a soundbar or AV receiver to the TV, and it'll actually pipe the sound down through the HDMI cable to those audio pieces, and you can get TV sound out through your soundbar or big surround sound system. That's great. With eARC, everything gets bumped up several notches. So now you can get full-on Dolby Atmos uncompressed sound through HDMI 2.1 down to your devices. This makes the connection and interoperability of those devices way easier, and it's going to sound a lot better. That's always been a pinch point for ARC. There's a few other things about the new eARC that you might want to know about, and we have an article for that. You can find that in the link below. The last word on HDMI 2.1 is really this is built for the future. So it's going to allow all kinds of high bandwidth, super rich video to be passed through HDMI to the television. It really opens up a whole bunch of new stuff, none of which we have yet, which speaks to the future proofing of this TV. You can buy this TV now and know that it's going to be able to take care of all kinds of new features in the future. The next important feature that is new for this year is LG's new Alpha 9 Gen 2 processor. So the processing, as we've discussed before, is the most important part for any TV. You can take a wonderful OLED panel like this, find it in another TV, and if the processing isn't as good, the picture quality is not going to be as good. So for the Alpha Gen 2 processor, it's doing a couple of key things that are brand new. The first is this deep learning AI stuff. So the idea there is that LG has used artificial intelligence to analyze a huge database of images. It gets really down to the pixel level. So they're looking at a bird right now, or a dog. It knows a dog from a horse, from a cat, right? And then it knows that there are certain aspects of that animal that it's going to want to hone in on to clean up the picture. You know, a dog's nose tends to look a certain way. There's a certain amount of texture there. The fur, the hair, that's a lot of fine detail that you want to render correctly. And the reason that LG is doing this is because when you have a really pristine